before the game. It's round 5 of the Swanport RMFL season. I'm Baz Barrett, coming to you live from Yanch Park, home of the Tail and Bend Footy Club. Before the game is brought to you by the professionals at Murray Bridge, and a big thank you to our major sponsor, the Swanport Hotel. Welcome to Josh and Lockie Thomas. So fellas, what have we been up to first, Josh?
This week, just been in the classroom, grinding away, shoulder to the wheel, teaching the youth of tomorrow. But
Excellent.
yeah, as we always say, Lockie, underpaid and overworked, eh?
That's it. Spot
Okay.
on.
What about
Good.
you, Lock?
You're going to say the same thing?
I was going to say the same thing, words right out of my mouth, but no, I've been same thing at Murray Bridge High School, in the classroom there, and then at uni a little bit as well. So just juggling both of them,
Yep.
which is a challenge at times, but
Yep.
wouldn't change it.
Getting through it?
Yep, getting through it.
No, all good. Yep.
What about you, Baz?
Just farming, mate. Yeah, I've sort of semi-retired, I suppose, so just get told what I'm doing each day, which I actually quite enjoy. Bit dry out in the Mallee, Josh,
Yes.
at this stage, so yeah, if we can all sort of do some sort of rain dance, that would be appreciated, but it will rain, it always has in the past, so just got to be patient. So, moving on, our RMFL TV awards. Josh, could you just go through them for us, mate?
Absolutely. So last week, Player of the Day, Smiley Car Wash Award went to Clint Dement from Imperials, as did the Dutton's Goal of the Day Award. So he did the double there last week, did Clint. It's good to see him back in form after a couple of pretty challenging injuries for him over the last couple of years. McHugh's Bakery Mark of the Day. I cannot believe that I'm actually reading this. Jacob Rance.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Jacob.
Also, best kick in the comp.
Self-proclaimed best kick in the comp. The Elders Rising Star actually coached this lad back in the day at Sapsaza, I believe. Kyle Staker from Imperials. So Imps have done a fairly good effort here. And then we've got the Murray Sales Defender of the Day, James Clark. And the Anytime Fitness Incentive Award went to Kynan Adams from the Mallee Storm.
Yeah, obviously awards dominated by Imps. When you win by 26 or 27 goals, that's probably to be expected. So our sponsors, RMFL.
Yep, so can't do it without the sponsors. The RMFL TV scoreboard is sponsored by the Murray Valley Standard, and the famous Jimmy's Joke by Crowy's Paint. The quarter time, half time and 3/4 time breaks by Drendel Concrete. Special comments by Eka Earth Moving. Matt's Quiz by the Ruck and the Rover podcast by Chili Chandler and Harry Mansfield, and the major sponsor, the Swanport Hotel.
Excellent, thank you. So Josh, if you could just go through the leading goal kickers brought to us by Duttons.
Yeah, I'm spewing these are the leading goal kickers in the league because there's someone I know at the top of the reserves at the minute. But the Duttons, Ben Hansen in 3 games has 15 goals, so an average of 5 goals a game there. Young and up-and-coming gun Cody Trollig is tied with Johnny Boris of Imperials on 14. Braden Grenfell, will we see him today, Baz, at all?
Can't say.
Can't say. 13 goals, and then we have Matthew Min and Daniel Menzel tied on 11 to round out the top 5.
Yep, thanks, mate. Moving on to the Daesh Irrigation and Fodder Player of the Year. LT, can you go through them?
Yep, so for round 4, Southern Mallee versus Ramblers, Josh Smithson 3 votes, Rory O'Driscoll 2 votes, and Jack Lewis from Ramblers sneaking in there with 1 vote. Maipo versus Manham, Cody Wolford and Matt Min, who I think kicked a few goals on the weekend from Manham, and my great mate Geordie Hines sneaking in there for 1. Would have tried his guts out all day. Coorong Cats versus Jervois. Alex Stidderford 3 votes. He was elite. Ben Hansen 6 goals, 2 votes. And a losing side, good effort. And then Seb Kerish, 1 vote, was also very good. Imperials versus Mallee, like Baz said, a dominant affair. Johnny Boras with 3 votes, with a little 10-piece feed, I think. Louis D. Michelle dominating the ruck with 2 votes. And then Kyle Staker, the young fella, 1 vote from Imperials as well. And then we've got the leaders, with Ben Hansen sitting on 6 votes, and Reed Culler and Brodie Edwards there sitting on 5 votes. So tied up the top.
Excellent. Thanks, mate. So, Josh, Chemist King Club of the Year.
Club of the Year. This is a very interesting reading here. So we got Manham sitting atop, 3 votes clear on 26 from Jervois at 23. The Southern Mallee Suns 21. The Coorong Cats 19. Tailem Bend 16, Mypolonga 13, Imperials 12, Mallee Storm 12, and Ramblers 12. So 3 all on 12.
Excellent. Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, Manham doing some great things out there, both on and off the field, so well done to their club. Lockie, the Swanport Hotel ladder, please.
Yep, so we've got Coorong Cats on 6 points, as well as Manham and Jervois. Tailem Bend on 4, Southern Mallee on 4, Imperials 2, along with Mypolonga and Ramblers, and Mallee Districts currently on 0.
Yep, no worries, thanks you. And I reckon we're just having a look at the RMFL Team of the Week too at the moment, brought to us by Duttons. So thanks for that. Great supporters of RMFL footy is Duttons. Earlier on I had the pleasure of interviewing Clinton Allen, so yeah, we'll just have a look at that now. Today I get to interview the president of the Tailem Bend Footy Club, Clinton Allen. Welcome, mate.
Thank you, Baz.
Yep. So, Beefy, how's the club going? I mean, I'm just looking around at your facilities at the moment. They look really neat and tidy.
Yeah.
So overall, how's the club travelling?
I think pretty well. We've put in a lot of effort to get it looking good. New fences, new gate over there.
Yep.
But generally, just a really good tidy up always helps anyway.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so we don't have anything lying around.
Yep.
The oval looks good. Chris is doing a good job with that.
Okay. Yep.
So yeah, no, it's going well.
Yeah, I actually drive past here quite often going to the Tailem Bend silos, and
Yeah.
on average I reckon there's 8 to 10 caravans that are parked here, and
Yeah.
as a bit of a caravanner I would stop here too. It's beautiful with the lawn and everything, so
Yeah, well, at the moment, like over the other side where they park, it's a bit of a dust bowl, but
okay.
hopefully we get some rain soon
Yeah,
and
no,
get a bit of ground cover back.
that would be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to talk about Tyson Edwards, the effect
Yes.
that he's had on the group, and also Luke. We talk about Tyson a lot, but Luke, obviously, with his experience coming to Tailem Bend, just tell us about his influence.
Great influence, actually. Like all the boys are really into what he says. Not only that, like they actually come out to training rather than, you know, it just has that pulling power to get them out.
Yeah.
So whereas in the last couple of years we had not too bad a side, but
Yep.
just couldn't get the boys out, couldn't get them enthused enough to want to be out there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I
which is
hear
hard.
the buy-in is there.
Yeah, the buy-in.
And nothing against your former coaches, but I think the respect that Tyson almost demands from what he's done in football.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, you look at his record, you know, there's not too many
Yeah.
coaches you get with a record like that. So when you get the opportunity, you got to jump on it.
Yeah, no, for sure. So on field, I reckon you're sitting in the finals, in the top 5 at the moment. So,
It's going to be a tough one though. Like we've got 3 or 4 lads down at Westies, and we never know whether we got them or not.
Yeah.
And you know, you don't want them to not go down to Westies and have that experience. So you got to tell them, you know, do your best down there while you can.
Yep.
If we happen to get you back, well, that's just a bonus for us.
Yeah. I just think the habits they learn down there and
Yeah.
the skills and the fitness and that, I think you always come back. They'll come back better players.
True.
So I think you should encourage that for sure.
Yeah. And then you got Sammy down at Sturt as well. So
Yeah.
you know, and he's had a really great game last week.
Yeah.
So
No, he's a
I
ripper.
don't know. He's a good chance of
Yeah.
being a league player, I believe.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it comes from good breeding stock there.
Yeah.
Semi-white, so that's good. Just your junior program, mate. I think other clubs envy the success that you've had, but also your numbers. I mean, so obviously you've got some things that are happening really well there.
I think a bonus, like when you do win, obviously people want to come to you.
Yeah,
It's probably the same in league, you know, clubs.
Yep.
Wherever someone's having success, you know, people want to go there.
yeah,
But you know, the wheel can turn too.
yeah.
You know, we've got our under-13s. They're struggling a bit at the moment, but
Okay.
that's something we'll work on.
Yep, yeah,
To get them back up. So
Yep.
yeah, there's
yeah.
no magic bullet for anything. but
No. I think I look at your side too, and the kids that are coming through the system. So if you can retain, you know, a fair percentage of them being locals,
Yeah.
I think it will stand you in good stead.
One thing that I think helps us retain is we've actually been a bit short in our reserves the last couple of
Yeah.
years, and a few of those kids have gone up and got games, and all of a sudden, when they're out of the 18s program, it's not a big deal for them because they've already played senior footy,
Yeah.
and they know the blokes' names
Yep.
and stuff like that. So it's not this big scary thing where they go, oh no, I just might not
Yeah.
play this year.
Yeah, maybe as a league, that's something that we have to look at. Maybe, we drop the age to 17, so those
Yeah.
18-year-olds are playing senior football.
Yep.
But, it's something that we've got to discuss because, our 18 comp at the moment, there's a couple of clubs that can't field sides, so we've got
Yeah.
to look at what's going to happen in the future.
I still don't know that age groups is a magic bullet.
Yeah,
We still get a lot of clubs, I would think, get a lot of drop-off after that age group.
yeah.
I don't know
Why that is.
why
yeah.
that is, but
I
it's
know
something we've got to try and fix.
It is, mate. And, in the Mallee clubs, we talk about, the 14, 15-year-olds going off to college. So we lose them at an early age. It's just something that we can't put our head in the sand because it's happening. And
Yeah.
we've got to look at why and how we can retain those 17, 18-year-olds. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. So, well, that's good, mate. So what we're going to do now is I've just got a few questions for you. Quick fire.
Fire away.
Yeah. So, age,
54,
middle name,
Andrew,
single, married or partner.
married to Sonia,
Beautiful. Nickname.
beefy, which I'm
How did
not
you-
so beefy anymore.
Yeah, so
Lost 27 kilo.
good on you. Well done. Favourite position? I'd imagine that's on the
That's-
footy field.
I was going to say bed.
Yeah. When I saw that, I thought, I'm not sure if I'm going to ask that one, but
I
Favourite-
always played off a back flank or on the ball, so
okay, yep,
probably there, yeah,
that's
for me.
good. What celebrity are you taking out to dinner?
Jennifer Hawkins.
Why not?
Don't know if it'd be allowed, but I'll have a
You can
go.
only try. Most famous phone number in your phone?
Probably Tyson Edwards now.
Why not? Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. Favourite TV show?
I'm into a few. I've just started watching White Lotus and Justified has been a good one too.
Okay.
Yep. So
Yep.
anything where there's no ads.
Okay, good, cool. Who do you barrack for in the AFL?
The Crows.
TikTok, Insta or Facebook?
Facebook. I can't keep up with all the other stuff, so
Yeah.
I'm sort of. Facebook's about as far as I'm going with that.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Winter or summer?
I like both, to be honest. I like the footy, but we're also on the river, so I like skiing as well.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
What car are you driving?
Well, Sonia and I swapped cars. I did have a Hyundai, and now I've got her Kia, so
Yep.
I'm trying to put the miles on that for work, so a
Okay.
little Kia Sportage.
Really good. Thanks, Beefy. Thanks for your time.
No worries, mate.
Okay.
All good.
Very good. Thanks, Beefy. Doing some really good things out here at Tailem Bend. Juniors are flying, very, very competitive in their senior grade. So, well done, Beefy. Right, next we've got our new segment. It's an interesting one. It's called "What Needs Fixing." Could be anything. And so we'll start with you, Lockie.
I know it's usually easy, low-hanging fruit to talk about the umpires, but I want to kind of look at the other side of that, and I want to make their job easier. I think the AFL need to adopt the last touch rule, and I know that some people are very against that. We obviously play it out here, the SAMFL use it, and it just takes the guesswork out of it for the umpires. It's one less thing they have to worry about.
Yep.
And it's all kind of opinion-based with those deliberate free kicks and stuff, and I think if you just have that blanket rule, kick or handball out without it being touched, free kick of the opposition. The AFL want the game to go quicker.
Yep.
That's going to speed up
Yep,
the
well
game.
done.
It's not, you're not getting rid of the boundary throw-in. A spoil over the boundary is still a throw-in. You still get the chance to see those stoppages
Yep.
and that stoppage work. But I think it just takes the guesswork out, make the umpires' jobs a lot easier, and then
Yep.
hopefully they can put all of their brain power into holding the ball calls right, because that's
Absolutely.
what I think they're struggling with at the
Yeah,
minute.
good call, mate. Josh, what do you got for us?
Well, I've had some late correspondence with my what needs fixing from the man to my right, potentially your left. So AFL 2026 has just been released, and for some reason they've got SANFL players on those lists, and Lachlan Thomas is in that game, in that AFL 26 game, no curly hair. So to the people that have created this game, that needs fixing. But just to read through his stats, he's a big-bodied midfielder.
That doesn't need fixing. That's spot on.
Incorrect. Physical attributes, 44 out of 100.
Probably accurate.
Offense, 61. Defense, non-existent, not even on there. Handballing, I haven't received one in 3 years of playing with him, so that's 51. But that needs fixing. He needs curly hair, Lachlan Thomas, in AFL 26.
Video game debut.
Excellent. To myself, I was thinking about this today. and I was worried that I was going to be politically incorrect. So what I've done is I'm really concerned about our political environment after an election which I thought was a joke. So what I've done is I've related a political situation to football. So what we've got is we've got two major teams who have got all the money, all the draft picks, all the facilities, and they base their strategy on what the other team's doing, and I can't understand that. They listen to minority groups and they decide their game plan on what a minority say. And also, I'm thinking about the competition overall. I'm looking at the two major teams and I'm not happy with them. And then I look at the other teams in the competition and I think, what's to choose from there? So I'm really disillusioned as a voter. Getting really sort of pretty serious here, fellas. But yeah, I don't know. I think for the next 3 years, we're in a world of pain because we're supporting a side which aren't going anywhere, aren't going up the premiership table. But unfortunately, the side behind them aren't doing much good either. So that's what I would like to fix is the political arena.
So your footy analogy is like Peter Dutton's lost to his B-grade side because he didn't win his own seat.
He has. Well, that's spot on. And Albanese, all he does is grizzle about what the opposition are doing and is not looking at his own backyard. So, and the rest of them, yeah, I'll probably stop now on all that.
So Albo, if you're listening, fix that.
Yeah, I know he listens to us, so he probably will do that. Yeah. Righto, moving on. Facebook pages. So we'll start with myself, the Coorong Cats. They've got a rump and red night, 17th of May, which will be a cracker. $750 a table, $75 a ticket. Contact Monique for inquiries. Moving on to...
Yep, so we got Imperials, have the Cup Pong Olympics, which is actually organised by my lovely partner Georgia Deem, so I should be happy with that shout out.
Well
So on the 17th of May, best team wins, drink specials, get creative with your costumes, join in for an epic night. Me and our Prez Zane Barry are going to join in and see if we can take over Imperials for a night.
Zane and I.
Zane and
Anyway,
thanks, Mr. Noyes.
slow news day over at Jervois. The first portal merchandise is in. James Kobodic, shout out to you. Sarah, you do a great job over there. So buy a week, get your merchandise at the footy club this week.
Perfect. Mallee Storm, match day sponsor, Barrett Rural Fencing. Contact Paddy Barrett for all your fencing needs. Great sponsors, and not just RMFL TV, but all the clubs can't do what they were doing without the sponsors.
2020 Premiership player for Jervois, Paddy Barrett.
Correct.
Yep, thank you. So out at Manham, they've got their Rouge, Rump and Red and player auction tonight. So gather your funds to bid on your favourite player group.
And out at Maipo, we have the Drake's Community Dollars program, so encouraging all supporters of the Tigers to download the My Drake's app and select Maipolonga Footy Club.
No worries. At the Suns, the volunteer roster book is out now for the first half of the season. They do a terrific job with their rosters out at the Suns, so yeah, most of those spots are full, which is good.
Ramblers Sponsors Day as well. Thanking all the Ramblers FC sponsors for 2025. Enjoy the day and evening with Rooster Golf Nights. I'm not sure what that entails, but sounds like a good time.
Yep.
And this one is a really important one, so please make sure you're listening to this. So Taylor Bend Do It for Dolly is today. Club is going blue, supporting the movement to create a kinder environment free from bullying. You know, as a school teacher, it's so important, but it's not just happening in schools. It's happening everywhere, so you don't know what people are going through, so just be kind.
Yep, excellent. Thank you, fellas. Okay, it's actually my pleasure now to announce a new award that well, not we. I know Mark Steinert didn't want me to single him out, but this is his idea. So the retention rate of volunteers at clubs, football clubs, is 40%, and that's a bit damning because the sides that I've seen in the competitions I've played in, the reason why they don't go on is not because of money or facilities or players or anything like that. It's because of volunteers. Volunteers, they just get worn out. So we need volunteers to come along and be welcome at footy and netball clubs. So what we've brought in at RMFL is the Volunteer of the Year. So what we're looking to do is each club will nominate their Volunteer of the Year, and it's not necessarily the bloke that's been around for 10 years and goal umpires every week. It's a new person to the club that is helping out, and we want to encourage them to stay on. So each club will nominate their Volunteer of the Year, and at our male medal night, all those 9 volunteers will be acknowledged, and also we will then announce a Volunteer of the Year out of that group. So, obviously the night's about acknowledging all our players, but we also want to acknowledge about our volunteers on male medal night. And the prize, with help from the SANFL and just outstanding sponsorship from Paul Reichstein from Conquest Crop Protection, the prize will be night's accommodation at Adelaide Oval, also tickets, and we're just working on some other little things that we might toss in. So just a significant thing, and I reckon it's just a great idea. So well done, Steiny, for coming up with that one. Just on a sad note, unfortunately this week we lost just a great character in Wayne Pake. So Pakey, he's been involved in Murraylands, Mallee and RMFL footy. I think his stats just roughly 330 odd games, kicked over 1,500 goals. I think he averaged 4.7 a game, which is just, in any competition, that's just outstanding. Pakey, outstanding cricketer too. So we talk about, what he's achieved in sport, but he's just a ripper bloke. Just a nice bloke to be around, always up for a laugh, bit of a villain, but just a great bloke. So condolences to Linda and Ryan and the extended Pake family. We've lost a ripper there, so very sad. Okay, moving on. Where are we up to? I had the pleasure of interviewing Lockie's parents earlier on, so we'll go to that. Okay, today I have the absolute pleasure to interview James and Nadina Thomas. I've known these two a long time, and they are great people, and they're always looking to improve their community, and they've recently been involved in Ski for Life. So I've got them on today just to talk about what is Ski for Life. So Nadina, could you just sort of explain Ski for Life? What is it about? When did it start? Just give us some details.
Yeah, so Ski for Life started in 2013. A guy called Bill Stockman, who had his struggles with his mental health, rang a couple of mates and said, I've got an idea, let's water ski from Murray Bridge to Renmark, 456 k's, and let's try and create some awareness and some conversations around mental health, wellbeing and suicide prevention. So they set off with 2 boats, 20 people, and off they went. They had some amazing conversations along the way and engaged with communities. Fast forward to 2025, and we had 36 boats this year with 400 people. Wow. And raised at this point $350,000. So it's now a SA charity. Our focus is about creating conversations and engaging communities around mental health, wellbeing and suicide prevention, and trying to smash the stigma around mental health, and also trying to support communities by implementing programs and projects to reduce those numbers, which is the main thing.
Main goal. Yeah. Outstanding. So Tomo, your family, how did you get involved? What was sort of the background in that?
It was probably over 10 years ago. I approached a guy from Mount Gambier. He had a business that could help our farm do things a little bit differently. So on our first meeting, he come up and he saw our boat in the shed, and we quickly got distracted and talked about water skiing. And turns out Tim was one of the founding members of Ski for Life. Yep. And he encouraged us to join. Yep. And for one reason or another, we couldn't make it work. With being the March Long weekend, chasing kids around with sport and whatnot was the priority at the time. And time went on, kids got a bit older, and one of Callum's good mates, their family was involved, the Griffiths from Walker's Flat, which made it even more enticing for us to get involved. And so the following year we said, let's do it. Yeah. But by then it had grown and grown and grown to the point where there was a waiting list. Okay. So we had to sit on the waiting list for a year, and the following year we got the call to say, there's a spot available, would you like it? You got a month before you decide. Yep. And we said, no, we'll do it. So that's sort of how we got involved, and it's been fantastic.
It's obviously very popular. If there's a waiting list now, a lot of people want to be involved. Yeah. Which is great. Yeah. So Nadina, how much money is raised? I don't want to sort of go into too much detail, but overall, the money that's raised by your group and then the groups overall, and then how is it distributed? What happens with the money after that?
Yeah, so as I said, $350,000 is where Ski for Life is at for this year. So of the 350,000, 300 was raised by the teams that are involved in the ski. 25,000 was raised at the auction that we hold on the Saturday night of the actual ski relay at Cobdogla, and then the other 25 has come from other donations. So as a team, there isn't an expectation on a specific amount for you to raise. They suggest between $1,000 to $2,000. So, and people are in it for different reasons. So some are in it because they are passionate about raising the money and implementing things in the community. Some are in it because actually the 3-day ski is what saves them.
Yeah.
It's what they need for their mental health. So our team this year has been really lucky to raise $28,000.
Not lucky, Nadina, it's because of yours and Tomo's and your whole team's work. You know, they are very invested in this, and you spend a lot of time getting organised. And you know, the bowls days that you organise are outstanding. So yeah, not much luck involved.
We've been supported by some pretty amazing people as well. So we still have got a few things happening throughout the rest of the year, so hopefully we'll continue to raise a bit more. But yeah, we've been really blessed by the amount of people that have supported our cause. So as far as the money that we raise goes, so we have 3 areas that the money raised goes to. So the first one is community grants. So people can apply for grants that align with our mission. So creating conversation and engaging community around mental health, wellbeing and suicide prevention. So we have given grants for guest speakers, for mental health training communities. We've sent Mates on a Mission, who are actually one of our projects, but people then want to apply for a grant to get them to come back. People can apply for grants through those things. And then we have our Ski for Life project. So Mates on a Mission is one of those, which Ben and Mike that came to the Murraylands last year, and that was a really rewarding thing, was to get them and give back to the community that had supported our team. And they also have a podcast that they do, so Talking Tough. And then sponsorship. So we are looking at sponsoring events that once again are aligned with our mission, and where we feel we can work with groups, communities that have similar values to us.
Outstanding. So Tomo, just quickly, your team and their roles. Obviously, someone's got to drive a boat, someone's got to observe skiers, and there's support staff. So just tell us about that.
So the ski is a relay. It's over 3 days from Murray Bridge to Renmark. First night we stop at Blanchetown, second night Cobby, and then the finish line at Renmark. So we need a ground crew to take the vehicles and the boat trailer and they keep the fuel up to us in jerry cans during the day when we need it. And so our ground crew is our good friends from Lameroo, Jules and Tull. Jules' family's involved in Ski for Life as well, so it's good for them to catch up with her family as well. As far as the skiing goes, we all have a go and share the driving.
Good.
The first year was a bit of a challenge. There was Nadina, myself, Lockie, Callum and their girlfriends, Georgia and Bella. In January, Nadina, Georgia and Bella couldn't ski.
Okay, there's a problem.
So we set out to teach them to ski, and Georgia and Bella sort of picked it up, not too bad. Nadina was struggling a bit for a while, and one day, it's a bit like a submarine almost, but anyway, we bloody were skiing there one day, and she showed signs of getting up, and Jules said, "Why don't we shorten the rope?" And we did, and it just put a bit more angle, and boom, out she come.
There you go.
And the boys and I were thinking it, but Lockie said it. I didn't think that was going to happen. But to Nadina's credit, she's stuck at it, and now she pops up first time every time. It's like a cork in the ocean. So
You got out of that one well, Tom. I wonder where that was going for a minute, but well done.
And this year we added a few extras to the team. Gretchen and Jezza, Bella's mum and stepdad, and young Hayley and Jack Secondman.
Yep.
Hayley was our project this year, and she couldn't ski, but we got her going with a week to spare, and
Outstanding.
it was bloody amazing, really. Like the three girls, Georgia, Bella, and Hayley, did the first stint leaving Murray Bridge, and we thought, if they could ski 15 or 20 k's, that'd be good.
Yeah.
But they just hung on and skied all the way to Manham, which is about 50 k's in
that's
one hit.
good effort.
And
Yep.
yeah, so we all share the skiing and driving. I did ask the boys how far they reckon they skied, and Callum said, I probably would have skied about 200 k's, I think.
Yeah.
And Lockie said, yeah, I did 201.
Yeah, of course he did. The better Thomas.
So yeah, it's just great to have the kids with us. It's
Yeah.
a good family time and
Yep.
enjoyable. We all relax and have fun together. So
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
what we enjoy the most about it.
Great family time, and yeah, raise a lot of money for a great cause. So well done, the Thomases. Just to finish off, Tomo, just some get to know you questions. So don't overthink it. Age,
54.
sure.
Struggle with the questions, isn't it?
Middle name,
Peter,
single, married or partner.
married,
Maybe not anymore.
To say happily. Nickname,
Tomo.
favourite position on the football field.
I was a backman, half backman.
Yeah, and a very good one at that. One of Norm Smith at Lamoureux.
Well, yes.
What celebrity are you taking to dinner?
Oh, always had a soft spot for Kate Sobrano.
Why is that?
Oh, she can sing well. She's
Hey.
a lovely lady.
Righto. Most famous phone number in your phone.
Well, while we were here at Tailem for a while, Smelty was coaching and looking for a few players out of, and happened to be Paynham districts there, and he was lucky enough to get a few, and I was in my paddock and my phone rang. And it was an unknown number, and I answered it. He says, "It's Gary McIntosh here."
Of course it is.
And he was about to get stuck into me about different things, and I said, "You're my hero, mate." And yeah, so I saved that number.
Cushions. Yeah, well done. Favourite TV show?
Probably The Bounce,
Okay.
just brainy neutral stuff.
Yep. Who do you barrack for on the AFL?
Crows,
TikTok, Insta or Facebook?
Facebook, I
None of the
think.
above. Winter or summer?
Summer, probably.
Yep. What car are you driving?
A D-Max.
Okay. No, it's been my absolute pleasure to interview Tom and Nadina, two people that are always looking to do some good things, and they're certainly doing that with the Ski for Life. So thanks for being involved.
Thanks for
No
having
worries.
us.
Thanks for having us.
No worries. Thanks, Tom and Nadina, for doing that. Yeah, doing some great work in the Ski for Life space, so well done to them. Righto, now we move on to this week's games, some discussion and tips. So firstly, Mallee Districts and the Cats out at Peak. Josh, what are the Storm going to do to stay in it?
Well, it's interesting. So I watched the Cats play us last week out there. So the only bit of advice that I would give is stand Daniel Menzel walking out of stoppage, because I reckon he had 12 centre bounce clearances with no one touching him. And I think, well, I'm not going to tip the Storm, but the ground at Peak, I think, has it more of a contest till somewhere about half-time, because they can clog the oval up.
Yep.
They like to play a slingshot game, but they can probably, make it a bit more
it up.
contested. But it's going to be a tough old day for the Storm, I think. And, yeah, Cats convincingly,
Yep.
I'd may rest a few and
Yeah.
keep them
Nah,
fresh.
took the words out of my mouth. I think it's going to be a long day for the Storm. Unfortunately, to be honest, after the first quarter against them last week, I thought we were probably in for a long day as well. But we did manage to slow them up, and maybe that's just the way that Toasty and the boys need to go. Man on man, dirty footy, at Peak, small oval.
Yep.
Don't know, squish them in and stuff. They are a team that likes to switch, and they've got obviously Jack Holiday on the wing, tall player, tall wingman, hard to match up on.
Yep.
They really utilised him against us. Maybe small oval, they can't do those switch kicks enough, but their in and under stuff is just elite.
Yep.
And on the small ovals, that's what you need to be better at. And it looks really good on the big ovals, but yeah, at Peak, I can't really see
Yep.
the Storm getting close, unfortunately.
No. Obviously the same. I think the only thing that Mallee districts can work on is just break the game down into segments and not quarters, not even 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
Yep.
If they get 3 against them in 5 minutes, we'll work on the next 5 minutes and just try and just hold them up that way. But unfortunately for the Storm, it's going to be pretty tough. This is going to be a cracker out at Mannum. Mannum and Imps. What do we got, Josh?
Well, we've played Imps as Jervois, so I've seen Imps. I haven't seen Mannum, and all I heard in the pre-season was who they'd lost. But they sit second on the ladder, and they've obviously gelled together pretty well with some new players. So Mannum and Imps have a bit of a history of, a bit of an arm wrestle. So I think it will be close. Really a good day for footy here at Tailem, so I'd imagine it'd be pretty similar at Mannum. So, yeah, I'm going to tip Imps in a close one. Jack Penfold to have a big one, and Jacob Rance to take another mark of the day, I think.
Cool. Righto. Look.
Game in the round, I think. We've seen what Mannum are, the surprise package of the comp so far, and I think Imps just haven't quite hit their straps this year. I kind of had them sitting like top 2 or top 3. I still think they are that good. I just don't think it's clicked yet. I think when it does click, they will definitely be that top 3, top 2 side. Very glad that we got them done a couple of weeks ago, but I do think once it all starts to gel, Cam Ball back in the side now, the Carroll boys getting used to country footy, which sounds silly, but it is a different step from sample going to country. So I think once they all work it out and start to gel, they'll be that really good team that we expect. But then again, you can't count Mannum out because the results speak for themselves. You can say, Maipo didn't kick straight, Suns didn't kick straight against Mannum, but in the end, Mannum got the wins on the board. So that's all that counts in the end.
Pressure on the ball makes
Yeah, exactly.
those scores.
Yeah. So I'm going to tip Imps, and that's me looking towards the back end of the year. I think they'll still be a very, very good side.
And making sure you don't get hurt tonight at the beer pong for tipping that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well done. Imps will win, but only just. I haven't seen Imps, but I have seen Mannum, and they're contested footy workers, outstanding. They work to stoppage and they get good numbers, but they spread really well. And again, I haven't seen Imps firsthand. The only thing I could say from what I've heard is maybe their in and under isn't quite there. They're still working out who's inside, who's out, and Mannum have well and truly got that worked out. Blake Toby back in, Chad Resky not this week. So Imps win, but only just in a cracking game of footy. We'll move on to Ramblers and Maipo at Ramblers.
At Ramblers, do we know if Cody Zoost is playing?
Yes, he is.
I'm tipping Ramblers then in a boil over. Maipo will be looking for a win after a couple of close sort of results going against them. One of my best mates, Alex Pfeiffer, is a leader at that footy club, and I think he does a big job forward in behind the ball today for Ramblers. And yeah, one of those old-fashioned Ramblers wins where they get all the supporters around and they fancy themselves against Maipo. They've got a long-standing rivalry with Maipo, so Maipo have got class all over the ground, but Rory Taggart out for that 8 to 10 weeks with that really nasty elbow injury, which we hope is recovering well from. But I'm going to tip an upset in this one. The Chooks at the Chook House.
Yep, I think Maipo really need a win here, and I think they know that. Chatting to Geordie Hine, my good mate, he is starting to feel the pressure, I think. They've obviously had a few close games, lost a few where they should have won, a few outs with senior players injured. Rory Taggart, Riley Robinson is also out, which he's one of their best players for mine, always chops up against us. So, in my opinion, those are two massive outs, almost as big as you'd get for that team.
Are you tipping him?
I'm still backing in Maipo. I think Reid Colour, Jordan Hine in the middle, both absolute guns. Willem forward, I think.
It's an opportunity for them to step up and take control.
And it's going to be, like you said, it's going to be a close game. Alex Pfeiffer always plays well, but I know I said Mannum Imps was the game in the round, but I think this one will be the closest.
I agree. Yep. I'm not going to go with Ramblers, but don't be surprised if they get over them. I agree. If Ramblers can get up early at home and get some crowd involvement, there'll be a lot of excitement there. But I just reckon Maipo just a little bit too much class. But this one could go either way. And the last game, the televised one, Taylor and Southern Suns.
So I've done a little bit of homework on this one. I'm calling this one, and we'll talk about it more when we get into the broadcast, but this is a 4-point game. You get 2 points for a win in this comp. It's a 4-point game for both sides.
Yep.
So 4th and 5th, the team that loses and drops it sort of comes back in the pack. The team that wins it stays right in touch. So, I'm a little bit concerned as to where Talem's goals come from, looking at their list, but I think you could say the same for the Suns. They haven't really had that one focal target, and apart from the big fella who's not been in the last couple of weeks. So, Smithson, I think, is the most important player on the ground for the Suns today. If he has a good day,
I think he provides what they miss down there.
Yep.
And as for the Suns, like Josh touched on already, Smitho's, one of the most valuable players, and when he's on, he's obviously been copping a lot of attention this year with tags. I know we always send someone to him, and that's purely because he's one of the best players in the comp. But then you've also got Rory as well. So I think today one of them's going to get off the chain. I'm not sure who, but I think they'll help the Suns get to a very close win by a couple goals.
Tom Keogh, big day for him as coach.
Yep.
He's a seasoned campaigner with a lot of experience at a really high level. So, I'd like to see him play today and how he goes about it, where he plays himself, whether he plays himself in the middle of the ground or plays something a little bit different and rolls himself forward and is a focal target. So,
Yep. I think the Suns just in a close game. I just think their scoring ability is a little bit more than Taylor. And the new players that have come in, Ryan Werfel and Harrison Pope, he's a ripper. Young Josh Toke back, just improving all the time. Just think they might just have a bit more firepower and maybe a little bit more class, if you like, just with ball in hand. So I am tipping Suns, but just. So we've got lots of games of the round, so that's great. That's what we want in RMFL footy. So next week we'll be televising the game from Imperials and Ramblers, which will be great. The big clash there.
Battle of the Bridge.
Yeah, the Battle of the Bridge. Now we go on to Matt's quiz. World known, apparently. Matt's,
is that only because Matt's overseas at the minute?
That's right.
Yep.
Yep. So we bring in another Thomas. So we've got James coming in. And Jimmy will hand out the buzzers.
Are we doing a swap?
No, you just keep it.
All right. Thanks, mate.
Make sure to display our sponsors.
Thank you, James.
So we all know the rules. My answers are final, no arguments. So we'll test our paddles.
Yep. Lockie.
Josh.
Tomo.
Beautiful. They all work. So here we go. Righto. Suns playing coach Tom Keogh wears what number?
Josh. 47.
No.
Lockie. 41.
Yes.
Looks like a
What
47.
boots does he wear?
Looks like a
What boots does he wear, Lockie?
Nike Tempos.
What colour?
White. Yeah. Special talent.
Good. No extra points for that. Prior to round 5, Jervois have won 3 of their 4 games. True or false?
Lockie. True.
Spot on. Imperials and Mallee Storm, round 4 game. Who was the Smiley Car Wash player
Josh.
of the day? Josh.
Clint Dement.
Well done.
Come on, Tomo.
Test your buzzer, Tomo.
Yeah. Still working?
Tomo, righto.
I'm
Okay.
concentrating.
Who is Taylor Ben's league coach?
Josh.
Tomo?
Edwards.
Which first name?
Which one?
Tyson.
Oh,
Well
we're
done.
going to go with Dwayne there.
He's away.
I got it that up first. Just his name.
Oh, okay, I'll ask this question. Who did Chili Chandler interview today?
Josh.
Yes?
Absolutely no one.
Thank you. And
He
why
didn't
is
rock
that,
up.
Josh? For an extra half a point?
I think for the extra half a point, he was just doing a quote. Would have been what his excuse was, but he was probably still in bed.
Right, thank you. North Melbourne placed a media ban with Channel 7
Josh.
commentator.
Kane Corn.
Josh. Yeah, and Matt says about time. Spell Sun's young gun, Brooklyn Morza Bruins surname.
Come on, Tomo.
Tomo.
Righto.
Hang on, here's a team sheet. What's his name?
Morza Bruins.
Morza Bruins.
Morsen.
S-E-N? No.
Unlucky.
You blokes want to have a crack?
No, I'll pass.
I've had
Okay,
it.
so
Probably shouldn't.
Who do Imperials play today and where?
Josh.
Josh,
Manham at Manham.
thank you. On the RMFL Swanport Hotel League ladder, who's in 5th spot?
Josh.
Josh,
The Southern Mallee Suns.
excellent. Josh, you're smashing them. You blokes are...
Yeah, we're just making up
Yeah,
numbers.
what are you
Just
doing?
join the Thomas teams
Not
together.
real bright in the Thomas household. Yeah.
Can we
Okay.
sub Nadina in
Can we add our
at
scores
three-quarter
together?
time?
Okay, Josh has won this by streets, but this is the last question. Who am I? I was born in 1961 in Taylor Bend Hospital. I played my first league game at the age of 15. I played in a premiership for North Darwin in 1983. I came back to the RMFL in 1984 to become a premiership captain and best and fairest in the same year. I won another premiership in 1986, playing with my 2 brothers and best mates, which I will never forget. I have been the player manager in charge of recruiting
Lockie,
Lockie.
J.K. John Kosky.
Yes, well done.
Was that worth 5 points?
No, no. So, Tomo, you were terrible.
Yes.
Josh, well done. And
Thank
you
you.
were right, much better.
Yep.
So, thanks, fellas, for your help. That was really good. And yeah, we look forward to a great game here at Gench Park. We'll see you all next week.
Cheers.
Thank you.